Hi and welcome back to the Time Then channel. In this photo collection, we'll be showing you images from the 1950s that show how Japan changed. Japan's surrendered state was decimated following the end of World War II. All of the major cities, businesses, and transit systems sustained significant damage. For several years, there was a serious food scarcity. United States-led Allied forces invaded the country and began the process of rebuilding the Japanese state. The U.S. occupying forces, under the command of General Douglas MacArthur, implemented extensive military, political, economic, and social changes between 1945 and 1952. The occupation, like the Taika Reform in the 7th century and the Meiji Restoration 80 years earlier, marked a time of swift social and institutional transformation based on the adoption of foreign models. Please kindly subscribe, like, and comment. Now, on with the video. In 1958, a young Japanese woman wearing a kimono participates in the American and Japanese hula hoop fad. View of Mount Fuji from a passing train. Golf was moderately popular in Japan before World War II, but later in the country's post-war history, it became a national obsession. This image depicts a driving range with 3 stories in Tokyo. Sony started mass-producing portable television sets in Tokyo on January 5, 1960. Tomiko Kawabata is admiring the new gadget while driving her car. The 8-inch screen television is powered by a storage battery that can be used indoors with an AC 200-volt current and lasts 3 hours when used outside. In Tokyo, college students acting as uniformed pushers jam commuters onto railroad passenger cars. On July 7, 1959, Toru Ohira, the Japanese actor who played Superman on television, kept a close eye on actor George Reeves as he subtitled Japanese words for the show. The Japanese people have been influenced by television for a very long time, starting with Emperor Hirohito. Superman, a program that the Emperor enjoys watching on television, is one of the practically all-American shows that are available in Japan. A poster-sized photograph of Abraham Lincoln is shown with 2 other posters that detail Lincoln's life in 1959, while a Japanese guy wearing traditional wooden shoes, known as geta, stands inside a Tokyo department store and looks up at it. Mickey Curtis, an Elvis Presley-like performer, strumming his guitar and singing on February 18, 1958, in Tokyo's Nishiichi Theater, just out of reach of female admirers. Japan was bouncing in a rock and roll fever, thus Western rockabilly music shot to the top of the country's hit parade. The theater was packed with teenagers who were cheering, screaming, and throwing steamers at the stage, which the lucky vocalist managed to dodge with timed gyrations. Japanese dancers from the Scotchiku dancing group rehearse one of their brand new routines before performing it on July 11, 1958, at the Kokusai Theater in Tokyo as part of the Natsu no Odori summer dance scene. Japanese children crowd up against the Outer Planet Space exhibit in a Tokyo department store on August 19, 1958. They saw some strange-looking moonwalkers, a rocket that had landed on the moon's surface, and even a satellite orbiting the moon. Following the June 8th unveiling of a memorial to the fallen allies of World War II, 50 colorfully attired Buddhist monks parade from the statue of the Buddhist goddess of mercy in Kyoto, Japan, on May 11, 1958. In the base of the 80-feet-tall statue, a white marble tablet commemorating more than 48,000 troops who lost their lives fighting against Japan was found. A tribute to the more than 1 million Japanese soldiers who lost their lives in the conflict is the Buddha. At the Kokubu Army Camp in Japan, troops do bayonet drills on May 22, 1957. They dress in somewhat modified samurai costume and drill with bayonets and wooden rifles. On May 15, 1957, these GI-clad Japanese army recruits taking part in drills at the Fuji Army School outside of Tokyo demonstrate the country's metamorphosis from an enemy to an ally. The soldiers, who were part of the 160,000-strong land, sea, and air self-defense forces, were armed with weapons made in the United States and supported by a tank that was donated by that nation. They were undergoing intense training to defend the Japanese nation. In response to a planned British H-bomb test at Christmas Islands, a sizable H-bomb mushroom cloud was transported through Tokyo, Japan, on May 1, 1957. Japanese girls Mitsuko Kurinoto left, and Emiko Takemoto, survivors of the Hiroshima atomic bombing 10 years prior, posed for photographs and press teams at the Mitchell Air Force Base on Long Island, New York, on May 9, 1955. In the cautiously optimistic hope that the miracle of plastic surgery may give them new appearances, 25 Japanese girls who had been devastated by the earthquake journeyed 6,700 kilometers to New York. A portion of Tokyo was seen from the air on August 5, 1955. Thanks to modern building, the flattened blocks have vanished without a trace. The serene Sumida River runs through both the Fukuoka and Hamacho districts. These districts are primarily made up of wholesalers and warehouses. On October 20, 1955, female nurses from the recently formed Self-Defense Corps of Japan staff an aid station on Hokkaido, Japan, during drills. Using equipment supplied by the United States, Japanese forces performed their first post-war military exercises. A U.S. advisory group and other foreign military observers were present to witness the defense maneuvers against a hypothetical invading force of the Japanese island. The freshly elected Japanese government was photographed on December 17, 1954, at the Prime Minister's official residence in the heart of Tokyo by 45 cameramen. Japanese newspapers frequently allocated 3 or 4 photographers to cover an event from every angle. The largest flash photograph was taken on March 26, 1955, when 10,000 photo flashbulbs in downtown Tokyo lighted a new television station and tower. Together with a nearby flashbulb company, Radio Tokyo set off the 10,000 bulbs on its brand new 516-feet television antenna to alert Tokyo residents that it will begin airing on April 1st. To catch the action, tens of thousands of photographers descended upon the TV station's neighborhood's rooftops and upper-story windows. Sports enthusiasts watch a baseball game between Waseda and Keio universities on June 1, 1954, in Tokyo's Meiji Park. In front of cheering fans, the Japanese version of an American cheerleader is wearing team colors. On the island of Iwo Jima, on February 21, 1954, Japanese construction workers tore up the wreckage of a Navy ship that had been nearly completely buried along the sand beach. After a 9-year absence, the Japanese have visited the island of Iwo Jima once more, but this time as salvage workers. A large crowd of spectators gathered to watch the events on an outdoor screen in Tokyo on February 21, 1954, thanks to the fusion of 2 relatively recent innovations for Japanese audiences, television and American wrestling. NTV broadcast the wrestling contests between the visiting American wrestlers and their Japanese rivals. The crowd, who had completely filled and clogged the street, yelled, booed, and cheered as if they were at ringside. Japanese filmmakers were on location for the Battleship Yamato documentary's final day of shooting. On June 8, 1953, studio personnel loaded ammo into the armaments of a mock-up of the Yamato in preparation for the main sequence. A scene from Battleship Yamato was filmed on June 8, 1953, at the studio pool of the Shin-Toho Motion Picture Company of Japan. The ocean and sky in the background terminate at the left and right, with a camera crew in the foreground. A film studio employee sets up one of the scale model warships used to film a fight scene in a Japanese documentary that tells the story of the battleship Yamato's fateful day on June 8, 1953. Children from returned families play on the deck of the Koan Maru on March 24, 1953, as their parents board the ship in Maizuru Bay, Japan. The first group of repatriates to leave Communist China, where they had been stranded since the end of World War II, were allowed to return home after completing the requisite documentation at the Meiji Reprocessing Center. The first wave of 2,000 people from North China arrived on board the Koan Maru. The bicycles were gifts from charitable organizations and were carried onto the ship before it left China. A lens is checked on January 5, 1952, at the Nikon camera facility in Tokyo. On August 27, 1952, during a 5-minute stop in Hamamatsu, passengers on a train traveling from Tokyo to Osaka engaged in a drillmaster-led 3-minute calisthenics routine. This strange service was set up at the station, roughly halfway between the two cities, to help passengers on the arduous journey loosen up. The drillmaster has a podium, and even the exercises are set to music. 6 years after an atomic bomb detonated over this Hiroshima area on August 3, 1951, a gift shop is located adjacent to the destroyed Industry Hall dome. The store is run by Kiyoshi Kakawa, who was harmed in the incident. Dom DiMaggio of the Boston Red Sox readies to swing on October 20, 1951 in Japan during an exhibition game between the American All-Stars and the Yomiuri Giants. Industrial training professionals saw light bulbs being dropped by a machine to other workers in Tokyo on January 25, 1951, who subsequently sorted them according to defects. The Wolfhounds, a unit of the 27th Infantry Regiment of the United States, purchased food on February 19, 1951 for the 160 children housed in an orphanage in Osaka, Japan Army. A Japanese girl carefully selects farmed pearls on Kikichi Mikimoto's pearl farm near the tip of Japan's Ise Peninsula on October 12, 1949. They are grouped according to their size, shape, and color. U.S. economic engines are cranked up immediately before Air Force B-26 bombers take off from the Far East Air Force Base in Japan for combat missions in Korea on September 20, 1950. The 24-hour missions carried out by the twin-engine bombers supported United Nations ground forces. 3 Japanese women wearing kimonos can be seen at the base of a copy of the Statue of Liberty during the America Fair, which made its debut in Osaka, Japan, on March 25, 1950. A replica of the South Dakota landmark Mount Rushmore is one of the exhibits at the America Fair that reflect important moments in American history. The exhibits at the fair represented significant historical events and traced the growth of the United States to its present levels of efficiency in the sciences, manufacturing, and agriculture. Women greet returning Japanese soldiers who had previously been prisoners of war on April 26, 1950. The survivors of their friends who passed away while they were detained are carried by the men. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please kindly subscribe and see you on the next one.